We are back.
Excuse me.
We are back in the agony booth. We are diving into those episodes that you went, did I really watch that? Yes, you really did. And we are here to recap it in a friendly and loving way because, hey, there's no bad Star Trek, right? If you're new to the channel, maybe there is. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow, and it is free. Can you imagine that? Doing something free to help somebody? I know it's a lot, but just do it.
Sounds like socialism.
No, it's capitalism. Well, I don't know. Star Trek socialism. Anyway, we are joined by, of course, the magnificent duo, Jason Roy Gaston and VHS Jace. I want to say hi to My Figure Universe because I want to start that right off before we get going because he says, greetings, gentlemen. I just rewatched the episode. So it was a fresh in my mind. I can't wait to hear what you all think. Well, it is an agony booth. So
Same.
It is going to be something. What's going on, guys? What's new? What's happening in the world? Are you guys experiencing FOMO right now?
No, not at all. I just choose to hate everyone that's there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because I'm not petty or jealous at all. I'm not like that. But may they all get syphilis. No, I hope all our friends over there having time of their lives. I've never been. Love to go one year. Looks like everyone's having a blast.
Yeah. It looks like everybody's having it. There's a small British invasion going on right now. It's quite interesting. But let us hop into it. Let's get into the Naked Now. The synopsis, if you please, Jason Roy Gaston.
The Enterprise transports an elderly Starfleet admiral who writes the wrong friggin' synopsis to the episode, Joe!
I didn't do it. No, not Joe. Not Joe.
What the hell? I'm sorry. Oh,
man. That was another bad one, though. I remember that. Cardis. Yeah.
Look, it's a pretty easy thing to sum up, right? Everyone gets drunk.
You need to get to sickbay. I don't think that you're feeling that quite well.
Wait, what?
Sorry.
Okay. The Enterprise.
I've rushed that together about 10 minutes.
The Enterprise goes to rescue a stock Grissom model, and everybody basically does the plot of The Naked Time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. All right. Well, let's hop into WTF Did We Just Watch?
Speaking of The Naked Now, hello.
Yeah, we almost got a little bit of a now. Let's start with Jason Roy Gaston. What WTF did we just watch?
So this was the third episode of TNG?
I think it was the second. Code of Honor might be third.
Yeah.
Well, that's a controversy. You could be second or third, depending on which streaming service you're watching.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's an early episode. Let's just say that. I think it was a little bit early to have a let's strip everybody's inhibitions and see what really makes these characters tick episode, because what we got were basically every guy on the ship was going through an existential crisis while every woman on the ship just got really, really horny. And I don't think the show did any favors this early on by basically doing a remake of those old scientists episode. And
now, is it your dog or my dog?
That is my daughter's dog. That is Miss Molly. Okay. My daughter went with her boyfriend to go shopping and left the dog here, and the dog is having an existential crisis. So the dog has better writing than the women in this episode. And I'm not saying that as a slight against Denise Crosby or Gates McFadden or Marina Sirtis. I'm saying that as a slight against the writers.
Yeah,
I just noticed that as I was watching it. It's just, these men. Geordi's having this crisis about his eyes. Wesley's having this crisis about inadequacy, and he's needing to show out. And Yar's horny, and Crusher's horny, and that's about it. That's all. That's their only character trait, is that they just want to bang everybody.
Yeah, it was super weird. Except for Barbara, the engineer.
Yes. The engineer who appeared in this episode and then we never saw again.
Yeah, McDougal died on the way back to her home planet.
She was the no nonsense officer that we needed. Her and Worf. That should have just been the McDougal and Worf show.
Worf didn't get affected either.
No, he did not. He did not. Could you imagine if he did though? Because I think Worf would have been totally he'd been like a cat in heat. He'd be rubbing up against the walls.
Jesus, I remember Jace. You had a stock one of him, the dog, like.
Yeah, but I didn't really want to replay that. But should have pretty accurate.
Yeah, Jace, WTF? Did we just?
Well, I want to expand on a couple of things Jason said. Okay, yes, the first thing I noticed is how horrible the writing was for the women, especially Tasha Yar. It is inexcusable, even for back then, what they did to that character. So you're taking the security officer, somebody that is in charge of making sure everyone's safe, and you turn her into a slut once she drinks.
Yeah.
That is not appropriate on any level. And it goes to show that the men writing this episode had no... I'm shocked it even got through the script stage, even back then. We're talking 1987 here. We're not talking 1922. It wasn't excusable now. It's definitely not excusable now, and definitely not excusable then.
Was this written by an actual writer, or did Roddenberry's lawyer write this one too?
He might have. But, I mean, the other thing is this episode comes from a place of fear. Fear that they didn't trust in the material and the show that they already had. So they went out of their way to attach it to a Star Trek episode. They try to say it's a homage. I go, bull dust. It ain't a homage at all. You were scared, so you wrote this. But it is, it's an attempt at comedy. But how are you supposed to find all the characters funny and hilarious when we barely even know them? Most of the time when you're watching this, you can tell that Brett Spiner hasn't quite figured out Data yet. You can tell Geordie hasn't figured out. Yeah, no, all of the actors are just starting to get to know their characters. And no, it's silly. Mind you, the idea of them getting drunk and all that would maybe work in a throwaway filler episode for season 4 or 5. Maybe. But it would need heavy rewriting. Mind you, I do want to say, in all honesty, if that was me and I got infected, I'm totally this guy. I'm just that guy. I just turn into a kid and I'm throwing chips in the air. And I'm loving life.
Yeah, he was a happy little fella, wasn't he?
He was. I wonder whatever happened to him.
That's the big problem with the big problem with the episode is we don't actually explore, as you know, like we all act differently on alcohol. If it was me, Tasha Yar, I would have made her super aggressive. This is a woman who is chock full of PTSD. Right? She even mentions in her seduction speech to Data how she was attacked by gang rapists, which is a bizarre line to be saying in a seduction scene anyway. But I would have made her angry and violent because that's what you would have done with the character. You would have gone, hey, man, she's the real deal. Don't piss her off and don't get her drunk because she's going to kick your ass. Yeah, that was a major problem. The rest of it felt like goofy.
Yeah, that's true. For me, one of the major problems I had, what the heck, Data? Like, how is a robot a synthetic being affected? He says, yes, I have pores too, but still weird. The positronic matrix isn't a brain because I figured this was a brain affected issue. So for Data to be affected was just threw me off. And I thought that was a bizarre thing. I don't know if you guys have anything that you want to talk about.
I kind of had the idea that the writers were kind of thinking at this point that Data was like a biomechanical android. Maybe that's what was going on, but it's such a strange thing to hang such a major plot point on and then just drop it like, it's okay. He was just pretending.
Yeah.
And the other issue with that scene is once he's drunk, all his inhibitions go. Therefore, he's emotionally free. Data doesn't have emotions.
Exactly.
So there's a big flaw just in that conceit as well.
Yeah. It was a very weird weird episode. But
Yeah.
the Captain and Beverly Crusher, even though Crusher when they go back and she's like, oh, it was on the Enterprise, I'll just make this and we'll fix it and it'll be instantaneous, everything's fixed and everybody's fine. And then Geordi wasn't fixed, and Geordi kept getting that weird, he was just getting those weird sweats. So I just thought it was a weird.
He was maggoted, mate. He was maggoted. Yeah. He'd been on the sauce.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was such a weird.
That's an Aussie term for getting drunk.
Yeah, no, we used to say sauced in the 90s here. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you got sauced. You got really drunk. Yeah. So
you know what we say here now, and I think I'm allowed one F-bomb without us getting blocked. We call it getting fuck-eyed.
Oh.
Get drunk, you're getting fuck-eyed.
I think that's what all the women in this episode did.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm getting F-eyed. Hey, Data.
Yeah, so that was weird. And then the Beverly romance with Picard. I guess this is what kicked off the making of Jack Crusher in the future. This is the genesis of all that, which I thought was kind of interesting. And
so you think that they're doing it?
Oh, yeah.
They're doing the Discovery Channel pretty early on.
Yeah, I think this is what kindled that. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like that redhead down my.
I don't know if they were doing the horizontal mambo.
I think this was the thing that started it. I think this is what kindled it. It's like, Beverly, you truly cured that virus.
The man in so long.
Yeah. There's a comment about that from my forgetting. I'll pull that up. Let's see.
I thought the comment about "you owe me" is weird. It's like he owes you because his husband died. What?
Yeah, that was weird. Nothing summed up how bad it was. Better than Beverly Crusher saying that she's been without the touch of a man for so long. I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, that was wicked weird. I don't know.
I have to say though, Patrick Stewart was hilarious in that scene. Whenever he leans in and he goes, "No."
Yeah,
one of the great deliveries, isn't it? One of the great deliveries.
He has so many great deliveries and just these little idiosyncrasies in this episode. Last week I talked about whenever he enters sickbay, he does this little skip. Yeah, and there's this one part whenever he's talking to Beverly and she's getting closer and closer to him, and he's like, "Doctor, you and I have to get it together." Just this weird laugh. I'm just like, I don't know what that was, but that was hilarious.
Yeah,
that's an actor making choices. Good choices with a pretty feeble script.
Excellent choices too.
Yeah.
All right. Let us move on. And if you're just joining us, welcome to the Captain's Quadrant. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All right, Jace, we are moving on. People really jumped in for the farts. That's what.
Such a dramatic fall too.
Yeah,
and fart.
Yeah. All right, VHS Jace.
Why would they do that? I think I've addressed it in the other segment. It really comes from a place of the Star Trek writers and even Gene Roddenberry himself not quite knowing what they have yet. And it is a disastrous choice. And you would think, oh well, that's one throwaway episode. No, guys, we have this episode and the following episode after this
Code of Honor. It's too terrible.
So when you want to talk about how Star Trek Season 1 was on very rocky ground, it was on very rocky ground from the get-go. Let's face it. I mean, even people are critical of the second half of Account at Farpoint. But this was just, I don't know, dumb. It just, this is the kind of thing that if you weren't into, obsessed with Star Trek like we are, this would be an episode that you would turn the channel over for. So what I'm saying is here, the great numbers that they had in the first week would have all dissipated about 20 minutes.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Once the second episode was airing, terrible choices with the female characters. It's misogynist. It's disgusting. Not just now, but even back then it was. Brett Spiner, it just feels very odd. He's doing his best. Yeah. Like he comes in drunk and talks to Picard at one point. It does that thing. I think I've used the image on the thumbnail. Really funny. And he's an unbelievable comic performer.
He is.
It just makes no sense.
Yeah.
You know, and Jason, I don't want to steal your thunder, so I'm actually leading Jason into a thought that he'd actually put on our messenger recently of an easy fix for this episode. So I don't want to steal it, but there was an easy fix for this episode that was so glaring that they never mentioned in the episode, and it's obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why didn't Riker just beam over to the Tsiolkovsky and use its tractor beam to pull the Enterprise to safety?
Oh, wow. I didn't think of that.
That's it. And then it's like, okay, the Enterprise is safe. Now we can take our time figuring out this whole, virus thing.
Yeah, but do you think the virus was worse on the Tsiolkovsky and that's why they didn't do that? Like,
maybe, but still, you've got another ship over there. I just thought, even Wesley setting their time, maybe we can turn the ship into a repulsor beam, or I could just go over to the Tsiolkovsky and just pull us out of the way.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't think of it. I mean, he's the smartest guy.
Everybody's infected at that point, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
Yeah, that's true.
Mind you, how Geordie gets it, because he's patient zero on the Enterprise. He's the one who gets infected first. In a room, now I do believe we might have the pick here, in a room of naked frozen people.
Yeah.
They opened the door, and she is the only person fully clothed.
Yeah.
And falls into Geordie's arms. I'm like, the census got involved here.
Mm-hmm.
I have to make my observation here, and I have a picture, which I will bring up here in just a minute. But I have a theory that the makers of this show were going to do some edgy syndication nudity on this episode. Because if you've ever read Gene Roddenberry's treatment of what would have been the first episode of Star Trek Phase 2, for absolutely no reason, he had a naked couple in it walking by a park because he wanted to show that humanity was more open to nudity in the future. So I think Roddenberry was sitting there going, we could put some naked people in this episode and show them how open we are to it in the future. So Geordie walks into a room, everybody's frozen, everybody's naked. And of course they're laying, women's laying like this, a guy's laying on his side. But there's this one guy in the middle of the room, and he's like, he would have been fully butt out naked, except for one thing. He is literally clenching a piece of cloth between his cheeks. And I am willing to bet 90% of everybody halfway through. Maybe so. I'm thinking that an exec came on set that day and was like, you can't show full cheeks right here on the air. You've got to do something about it. Yeah. And so, they walk over there like, well, Stan's already in full makeup. We spent 4 hours like spraying his cheeks with this fake ice. What are we going to do? And then somebody holds up this little white sheet and goes, hey, Sam, we got a suggestion. Now, keep an open mind about this. Okay, clench. I want to know who that extra is because I think that's a Section 31 interview.
Well,
I want to know the
if
person.
Anyone knows, let us know.
We might be able to get that. So I don't know if this is the same person, but there's somebody that's very interested to be on Section 31 that reached out to us. I met him at the interview I did with Melanie Smith. Same person. We were gonna ask him, be like, hey, were you the guy
Were you the guy clenching the paper between your cheeks? Oh my gosh, it's so funny you ask.
That was me.
I wasn't that guy, but I was the one who suggested it.
That would be if he is, it's going to be like the shortest Section 31 and a half interview.
Yeah, no.
You're the guy with the towel stuck up your ass, and he goes, yeah. And I go, well, that's awkward. Thanks for watching, guys.
So what was your motivation during that scene? What school of theater did you go to clench a towel between your cheeks? Exactly.
This guy's pretty awesome. Really nice guy. Actually was a dentist on his 9 to 5. So it's going to be a lot of interesting conversations.
Do you think that's a drip cloth for a dentist?
Wow. He's an older guy too. If you look at the body, it's an older guy there.
Hold on. Let's take a closer look. Yeah.
No, I think he's just thinking that because of all the ice.
No, look at his body shape. Look at his body shape. I'd say he's older.
Right. He's got kind of a dad bod, yeah. But I gotta say the backside's looking good though.
Right.
Yeah, good job.
So I reckon he was a normally fit guy, but he's in his 50s and he can't fight time.
Yeah.
Yeah, This could be his big break. He was going to have his big shot on TNG. Everybody's going to remember him. And then somebody came up and shattered his dreams. Like, yeah, you can't show your ass. Here's a piece of paper. Clinch.
Yeah.
No, everyone would have remembered me as the butt guy in season 1.
I was the butt guy. All right.
You think he was sitting there going, what if they give me a line? I get my SAG card if they let me say a line. I know I'm frozen to death, but can't I see something? He get his SAG card that day.
Oh yeah, can you imagine? Oh, what was the best your introduction into the TV universe? Oh, so I was the guy that clenched my butt cheeks to hold the cloth on Star Trek. That's how I started. Can you imagine? It'd be memorable. Definitely something to talk about at parties.
Fun fact: that was the same cloth they used to dust Tin Forward in season 3.
Oh, and everybody
they
got
were always reusing props. You know,
Yeah.
I could see Guinan doing one of those. You know, just.
Why does the brown circle just keep spreading?
Yeah. All right, let us move on to next segment. All right, well, I got to tell you, there's a couple of redeeming features for me, and I'm going to kick it off for once, and then I'm going to throw to my good buddies, Jason.
That's all right. I'm just going to be reading my Crocodile Dundee Mad Magazine.
Oh, look at that! That's crazy.
And yeah, just let me know when you're done.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate it.
Actually, funny little tidbit about this. This actually has the promo for the next Mad Magazine.
Oh, wow.
Look at the Star Trek 4. But it is actually an Australian Mad Magazine. We had our own version.
Oh, neat.
There you go.
Wow.
Lots of C words.
Like American Mad Magazine, it just has the C word in it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. Spy versus Spy is called. No, we'll leave that.
Whoa.
Yeah. No, I found it very interesting that Wes, being the prankster that he is, with a smart prankster, actually kind of saves the day in the long haul. I thought that was pretty much a redeeming feature, and I think we got
while drunk. Remember, he solved the issue, and he was still hammered.
Yeah, and he was the last person to get cleaned, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so
they let him treating him like a jerk again.
Yep. Shut up, Wesley. So I love that, and I really. It was nice to see another starship and a 3D rendering of the Constitution class, because when Data is going through wasn't it? I thought that was kind of cool. Seeing that like 3D rendering when Data's like going through the records, and then you see the Constitution class, you're like, yeah. So I thought that was
is this the first new ship of TNG? Is this the first time we get to see a different Federation ship?
I think so.
Well, we did see a Excelsior class in the pilot episode.
All right. So then no, the Excelsior class has been around though, because that was in Star Trek 5.
The O'Birth class has been around since Star Trek 3.
Oh,
yeah. So that's the Grissom.
Well, this is just a patch job, isn't it? Yeah, it's the Grissom patch job.
Yeah. But I mean, it was still cool to see. So it was nice to see other ships. I really thought that exploding star kind of was low budget, because it was like. And it just kind of looked like a cheap firework, and I thought that was kind of weird.
It is 1987.
It is 1987. Yeah. So I mean, you get what you pay for, and that was probably high tech at the time, though.
It would have been expensive back then.
Yeah. But I thought that was cool, and I thought that there was a lot of stakes in this, because there's a virus going around the ship. There's a collapsing star. Without being a centralized villain anywhere, we have a lot of high stakes drama that really pulled it in and made you go, oh man, somebody might not make it. That huge rock is really hurtling towards the Enterprise. This could be doom. And then that O'Birth class blows the hell up. So I thought those were the redeeming features. VHS Jace, what did you think?
Got some funny moments out of it. That's about it. That's all I got to add. I mean, I could specifically go into the things I found amusing, but overall, I mean, it's just so lacking in so many areas that, yes, they got some good gags there, but it doesn't hold any weight because there's no substance to the rest of the thing. So it was funny slightly. That's my redeeming feature.
Jason Roy Gaston.
Okay, so I did not hate it.
Okay.
No, that's it. Now, there were a couple of things about this episode that I liked. And this is such a strange thing. I like how they had not gotten the sets finalized by this point, because the hallway right outside the warp core of engineering, that was not in engineering. That was just like this hallway that they were walking through, and the pool table wasn't there in the middle, and how. Because that section wasn't on engineering. Engineering was literally just the little circle around the warp core.
Right.
And I don't know. I found that very neat. I thought that gave us a look at some areas of the ship that we hadn't seen before. Brent Spiner's funny. Patrick Stewart, I thought, was extremely funny in this episode. And I will just say, I don't hate this episode. I don't think it's good. I think that there are some terrible narrative choices and creative choices behind it. But sometimes whenever fate or design comes together and smashes and the debris falls all over the place, occasionally it makes a nice pattern of fallout. And I think that that's how I can best describe The Naked Now, is that it's a mess, but it's a mess that I don't completely hate.
Okay. I find it interesting that this is almost like the pilot to Event Horizon, because they're going on a ship that's kind of had a wild party that went out of control and a lot of people died. So
orgy. They had an orgy.
Well, so did Event Horizon.
You know that there was one going on the Enterprise, at least one.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't see 10 Forward this entire season. It's because they spent an entire season hosing it out.
Yeah, for sure.
They're bringing Guinan in with a mop, saying, whenever I'm done with this, I'm running this bar. yes,
yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. I'm going to throw to the comments because we got some new faces and names that we definitely want to say hello to. We went to Beverly Crusher. Let's see.
Oh, he's dead. He's gone. Okay. Let's see if we can
finally, yes. Jason. Let's go to the comments.
See. All right. You want to do comments or should I do comments? All right.
You do comments, buddy.
Here we go. So Sergain says that this was the worst season ever. Lol. I agree. I think that the first season of TNG is the worst Star Trek has ever been, ever. Whenever somebody says Discovery's so bad, I'm like, oh, you don't know bad until you've watched Code of Honor and Naked Now right next to each other. Joe, I've taken over, by the way.
I see that. Yeah. My internet just went wonky for a bit. So
yeah. So the worst season ever. However, Tasha was hot.
She was pretty.
She was very hot.
Yeah.
But what they did with it is absolutely horrendous to the character. And I wonder if Denise Crosby looked at that script and that was the beginning of her thinking, oh, what did I sign up for?
Yeah.
Yes. I agree. Yes.
This and the next one, right?
Right.
She not only gets punched out, they lay in the boot to that character.
Right.
Yeah.
They're writing. Yeah.
My Figure Universe says, easy fix, just skip the episode. I say skip almost the entire first season. There's
you're gonna
3 episodes I would say watch. This is not one of them.
When you skip this episode, you land straight into Code of Honor.
Yeah, that's another one you skip. That's why I'm saying skip.
Keep skipping.
Peg Moore says, hi, Joe. I don't know what makes Joe so popular.
I'm glad you're recovering. It was good to see that. And much hugs to my Mount Vernon peeps. Mount Vernon.
Don't ever do that again.
What?
Yeah.
You got My Figure Universe says all the naked people locked the person with clothes in the closet because she wouldn't get naked. Okay, that's our canon explanation.
That works.
Yeah.
I like
Wesley
that.
Crusher, drunk in this episode, is easily comparable to Sheldon Cooper being even smarter when he's drunk in The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
That's something, we don't know how to save the ship. No one does. Quick, get Wesley a Shirley Temple.
Yeah, exactly.
let's just get on the Tsiolkovsky and push the Enterprise out of the way.
He's right.
This was a thought I had. Sir Gain says it's a meme generator episode. Yes, there are so many moments from this episode that have made their way into memes. Picard doing this, Data doing this, Data falling over, Yar pushing Data down on the bed.
Yeah, Yar and Data looking at each other in the doorway. Picard and Crusher in the doorway. That's a meme master. The guy playing with all the chips.
Oh yeah.
That's a
my guy.
Most
my
definitely.
guy.
Your guy.
There's
he's having fun.
There he is.
What you people say.
He's just so happy. I think he got fired from the ship after this episode.
I think so too.
I know you were drunk. I'm firing you because you were drunk on the job. Sir, we were all drunk, so you admit it. Good. Event Horizon was an orgy with hell. Yes, it was. So was this episode. The worst that Next Generation has been ever is Shades of Grey, the last episode of season 2. You are correct, but I think like consistent badness, you can't get any worse than season 1.
No, we've spoken about this before. Season 1 is just awful, bar a couple. Season 2 goes from the highs of highs to the lows of lows.
Yes.
And then season 3, we stabilize and we start getting into things good for a while. And then things get a little bit wonky season 6 and 7 again.
Yeah, there's a documentary. I don't know if it's still on Amazon Prime for free, but it's called Trouble on the Bridge. And it is a fascinating look at the absolute sheer hell and circus that was the first season of TNG. And they don't hold back either. They tell you everything. Gene's lawyer was scum.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. I kind of need to see that. Yeah,
it is. They dish all the tea. Like I said, I don't know if it's still available on Amazon Prime. It's been a couple of years since I watched it, but if you come across Trouble on the Bridge, watch it. It's fascinating. I wish there were more Trek documentaries that were this that were this, frank.
Oh wow!
I did watch the Deep Space Nine one that they did recently in 2019 before.
Yeah,
Renee passed away and Nog passed away.
Oh yeah, What We Left Behind.
What We Left Behind.
That is fantastic. That is absolutely wonderful. It's currently on Tubi as well.
Yes, and there's one coming up for Voyager.
Yeah, that we.
To the Journey, which I think is going to be a lot of fun too. My Figure Universe says if you can't find Trouble on the Bridge for free on Amazon or elsewhere, it does come with the documentary The Captains on Blu-ray. Isn't that the one where
watch?
Isn't that the one where Shatner farts?
Yeah,
during an interview.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's a hard watch, to be honest with you. I think Shatner is not a great interviewer at all.
No.
And then
I've just heard the farting.
Yeah, it's not a great documentary.
Yeah. Whenever he's talking to Avery Brooks, so Avery, I understand that you were on a. Oh no! Oh no!
Did that change? Yeah.
Shields have been breached.
I've saw it myself.
Oh my! Speaking of the Voyager documentary, if you go and watch our interview with Ethan Phillips, there is a bit about the Voyager documentary, and the producer of the Voyager documentary, Leila Fajo, who is a famous Star Trek producer, and she was actually in Star Trek a few episodes, I believe Voyager and TNG. She is talking about that, and so isn't Ethan Phillips, who played Neelix on Voyager. So there's a lot of.
I was curiously absent from that interview.
Yeah, somehow.
I just love. You know what? You got to give it to Joey. Any chance to plug, he plugs, doesn't he?
Oh, I know.
He saw his opportunity and went, it's this, we're getting close to the end here. It's time for the 7th plug in 5 minutes.
The world is his power strip. Boop,
yeah.
Boop.
Well, I mean, since we're in the spirit of plug, I just checked the Chaos of the Bridge documentary is available on YouTube for free. Oh, sweet.
Oh, go watch it. It's amazing.
Yeah, watch it. After you watch the interview with Ethan Phillips, that's for sure. That's a great interview. Yeah. Well, speaking of plugging, if you notice, I'm wearing this really awesome Captain's Quadrant shirt, as well as Jason's wearing his Captain's Quadrant hat. You guys can go to
bugger all.
No, yeah,
it's below the waist.
Yeah, I guess he's the naked now. If you are to go and get the hats, they have been updated with the.
No, sorry, Joe. he looks like one of those guys, like he's an undercover cop trying to pretend he's in high school. Like, yeah, I'm a high school kid as well.
Greetings, my fellow youngsters. Do you know where I can buy some marijuana?
Do you have any riz to spare? Oh, yeah.
He needs a backpack and some, and he's laughing.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Yeah.
Maybe a skateboard under the other arm.
There you go.
Comes a real life poochie.
There it is. But CaptainSquadrant.com will take you to our store. It will switch to Spectrum.
More plug-in. I'm going back.
I didn't finish the plug. We were talking about it.
Oh, Alfred E. Newman.
Just so you know,
funny bloke.
Ethan Phillips is also wearing a Captain Squadron hat. So if you want to be as cool as Jason and Ethan Phillips, you need to go get yourself one of those Captain Squadron hats. I believe My Figure Universe has one. You should too. All right, I'm done with the plugs.
Australian version's a bit raunchy. Anyway,
let us. Are we spinning that? Oh no, we're Aftermath, or is that after the?
No, we do have to spin the wheel once I get my stuff organized.
All right,
we can now press on the wheel of agony, which I put it up before we. Nah, we're putting it in.
Oh, I love that intro.
Sorry, I'm very sick this week. If you haven't noticed, guys, I'm off the boil.
It's all good.
Synopsis is bad. The producing is off.
Just a sick person.
It's okay. We still love you, Jace. All right, so we have a new ad to the wheel because we had to take off the one we just watched, The Naked Now. So now the new ad is
the plane, boss. The plane,
boss.
The plane. So yeah, if you remember that was a memorable episode for sure. All right, let's spin the wheel of agony.
He was literally just asking, what was that episode about? Like 45 minutes ago.
I know.
You're going to plug. We're going to pull you. We're going to call you out.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. The Emperor's new cloak.
Ew.
Jason.
Ew.
Quark and Rom have to rescue Grand Nada Sec, who's being held captive in the alternate universe. All lesbians all the time.
Oh, yeah. I know. I remember this one.
This one. Oh, this was the end of the Mirror Universe saga on Deep Space Nine. And if you thought the Rise of Skywalker was a disappointing finale, holy feces. This is awful. I remember watching this thinking, this is Deep Space Nine?
Wow.
This is terrible.
My Figure Universe says, all right, well, roll that.
Now I'm angry at you.
We'll roll that Aftermath. Let's talk about that.
We were just talking about you. Everybody hates you. Congratulations.
Congratulations. My Figure Universe says, okay, maybe I'm a contrarian, but I love that episode.
Oh, well, you are entitled to, and we look forward to you putting out comments next week so we can knock them down one by one.
We are going to have a special guest next week.
We are?
Yeah, we're going to have the gentleman from Trek Geeks, Bill. From Trek Geeks. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I love how we find this stuff out live.
Yeah. I told you guys this a long time ago because I thought you were.
That's the problem.
We were going to have. I had arranged for Tim Russ to be on the episode next week. Yeah. You know what? We can go with your guy instead.
Sure you did. I'm gonna make sure his name's Bill before I go.
You don't even know his name.
Yeah, and you're looking stuff up as we're live here on
Googling him.
Let me just check my Facebook while I'm here, guys. Because why not?
How's it going?
Oh no,
yes, one of the co-hosts of Trek Geeks will be on with us. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be so much fun. Yeah,
this is why we're not at Star Trek Las Vegas. They literally would just kick this out.
No, it would be fine. I mean, the Star Trek Las Vegas uses the other actors to do the interview, so it's not like the podcasters are up there interviewing people.
No, just because of who we are. And the quality of the show, we're not even getting in the front gates.
No,
they body tackle us in front of that.
They let me in last year. They would welcome me with open arms.
They gave you COVID. That's how much they love you.
COVID. I did get a gift, parting gift.
They'd tackle them. I'd be like, I'm with Nerdy up north. Leave me alone. I can't be tackled. I'm delicate.
So is there any fond memories of this episode for you guys?
Of
look, as much as we look at it from this perspective, I don't know. I'm sure back in the day I got some enjoyment out of it, but I'm old. I don't remember.
Well, I mean, it's a Ferengi episode. I like Ferengi-focused episodes. They're quite funny.
I've seen this. No, I have seen this a couple of years ago, and it's not great. It's not great. Now I remember, it's not great at all. It's a struggle.
I like it anytime a visitor got to play Intendant Kira. I mean, that's always a high point for me because she just has so much fun in that role, but I don't think I've even watched this episode since it's first aired. I just remember watching it, and after it was done, I was like, wow, me never seeing that episode again would be super.
Wow. And now here we are years later.
Here we are 30 years later. You're going to make me relive.
I don't know who's to blame, though, because somebody put it on the wheel, not me. So I get the feeling, Jace, you kind of fell on your own sword here. No, you're saying it's not you.
It was
probably me. Because
of course it was you.
This is the episode where Data gets to explore Tashiar's Tribble according to Playboy photos. Oh boy. Yes, indeed. Indeed, Sandera. It's so nice to see you and welcome to the Captain Squadron. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you for the culture. We appreciate it.
the trouble with dribbles. Oh my goodness. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I hope you kept your clothes on for all this wonderful episode, and I hope you're going to join us next week.
From the waist up, yes.
Yes. Hope you're going to join us next week as we dive into the Emperor's New Cloak with our special guest, Trekkie Bill from Trek Geeks.
In the meantime, I'm going to read my Crocodile Dundee 2. Man,
there you go. There you go. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next week.
Awesome.
He was pretty
Don't forget to put another shrimp on the Barbie. Oh, I got to control this. I got to turn this.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Let's get at it.
That's what we needed. We needed a Star Trek Crocodile Dundee crossover.